I am Deanne Bernard. So, today we are on the 4th day of the 40 Days Soul Fast. Yeah! So I did the same thing yesterday. I'm so happy that we're moving forward. Y'all kind of feel like family right now. You know what I'm saying? We family. You know, you coming in, you tuning in. Hey, family. How y'all doing? I'm so glad to have you here. And yeah, let's continue our journey. Yes. Day 4 is focusing on preparation and commitment. Touch your neighbor. Better yet, don't touch your neighbor. Look in your mirror and tell yourself you gotta be committed. You gotta be committed in this process. And so it says here, cleansing and aligning your soul prepares you spiritually, emotionally, and mentally to bring the seed of purpose planted in you to complete fruition and to deal with the enemy's plan to uproot it. No small thinking. Okay, so we if you have been following me, the previous chapters talked about cleansing, holiness, and all of these things. So go back, check out the other days for the soul fast, and you'll see what I'm talking about and what she's saying. But all of these things are preparation points, okay? And preparation is key. You got to prepare yourself for what's coming in. And it's so ironic. Every single time I read one of these chapters, I'm like, oh my God, this is what God has been saying in my own church for throughout this year. So it's really a God is trying to tell you something kind of vibes as I'm reading this. Like, you need to be more consistent. You need to be preparing. You need to be cleansing yourself. And listen. Just me doing this 40-day soul fast, this is not something I did of my own accord, that I just wanted to pick up the 40-day soul fast and read. I think I said in one of the videos, I don't be reading like that. I don't want to snuggle up and have a good read and be all like that's just not me. And you know, it's not a downplay on people who love reading books, but that's just not who I am. So for him to say, now go and read this book and be committed to the process and be committed to putting out yourself for the purpose of glorifying me. I'm just like, oh, okay, God. And it didn't take me, I didn't move when I first heard him say this, but it just kept coming up to my heart. And so I said, okay. So the preparation points, and even in preparing for doing this, I don't know what I was thinking. When I was thinking about doing these videos, I thought it was gonna be easy to put this stuff up, but you know, I don't know why I forgot about the reading part. You gotta read it first before you can talk on it. You know what I'm saying, D? So I'm talking to myself. I have to go to the mirror. D, you got to do better. Turn to your mirror and tell yourself you got to do better. So I had one of them kind of defining moments. And so, but in the preparation point, he is getting ready to birth acts of faith through you. But again, you must do your part. Like we said before, that caterpillar has to leave himself vulnerable. He has to wait on God, but God is going to do his part. But you got to do your part. And so you got to prepare for whatever God has for you. Clear lots of ground for your tents. Make your tents large. Spread out. Think big. Use plenty of rope. Drive the tent pegs deep. You're going to need lots of elbow room for your growing family. You're going to take over whole nations. You're going to resettle abandoned cities. Don't be afraid. You're not going to be embarrassed. Don't hold back. You're not going to come up short. Isaiah 54, 2 and 4. And so he's telling them how to prepare. And I remember this Dr. Juanita Bynum, when she was talking about when God was telling her to do things to prepare for her life, and he had her buying these posters and these big boards of herself and so forth, and she didn't know why she was doing it. She was just following God's instructions, and the people that saw it, they was like, oh yeah, girl, that's good, but they were really talking behind her back, and she overheard them. But needless to say, all of that stuff that God had told her to prepare for, Bishop T.D. Jakes contacted her and put her on the platform of Woman Thou Art Loose, and that was one of the platforms that catapulted her ministry. You get what I'm saying? So you have to prepare. Even the pastor at my church, Pastor Inger Hannah, she was saying, like, when she was going through her trying to prepare for buying a new home, she said God said begin to start packing. Begin to start purchasing stuff that you need for your new home. And so there's a whole preparation process that you have to be led by the Spirit to do. And then it says preparation requires commitment. Okay? Commitment liberates the mind. Commitment to your purpose, goals, or values will free your mind from cultural, political, and social entanglements, so your soul is free to connect more deeply with one's true self and God. So sometimes, like, when you're focused on doing something, other things may want to tug at you for, hey, they may want you to come out and go to the party with them, but hey, no, I can't do this, I have to study, because why? Because you're committed to getting that degree. No, hey, I can't do this, I have to work. Why? Because you are committed to that job, because you want to get that promotion, and so you begin to be more focused. You begin to leave aside those things that you would normally partake in, because you see a greater goal ahead of you. It says, commitment requires faith. You must not only have faith in God, but faith in the person who God has made you to be. And one of the examples that she gives in this chapter is the example of the talents, of the man that went and buried his talents, and God was like, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. And if you don't know, just go back and read, or don't recall it, just go back and read over. It's in the Bible that a guy had given out talents, and he gave 2 talents to one, and he went and buried it. He didn't even try to work the talents. He didn't try to do anything with it. The other 2 took the talents that God had given them, and they worked it and came back with more. He buried it and came back with nothing. God said, if you would at least put it in the bank, you would have got interest. He didn't do nothing. God is not looking for us to do nothing with the gifts that He's given us. Prepare for the overflow. Prepare to for God's glory to manifest in your life, so that you can see the full glory of who God created you to be. This is the purpose of all of this stuff, and you have to be committed to it. You have to be zoned in and focused and consistent about what God has given you. Okay? So it says, self-sacrifice is the way, my way, to saving yourself, your true self. What good would it do to get everything you want and lose the real you? What could you ever trade your soul for? Mark 8:37. I think we kind of went over this maybe yesterday. And so here are some nuggets. What are you going to commit to doing in order to save the real you? Turn to your mirror and say, what are you going to commit to doing in order to save the real you? Identify one thing you should purge from your life that is causing you to lose the real you. List one thing you should practice every day that will help cultivate your truest self. You know, when you're trying to be a musician and when you're in the band, even if you just practice an hour a day, do you know you will get better? You will look up and be first seat, and it's tested and tried. I've done it. Okay, so sometimes just committing an hour to something that you desire to do, that's a step into and being committed to that 1 hour. That is a step into the right direction. Okay, so I want you to focus on those things. List them right. Make sure you write. Think about these things and be committed to yourself. Let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Don't do like how we do for the New Year's, our New Year's resolutions. And listen, I'm talking to myself. Okay? I gotta go back and look at these videos because I sure got a video. You can look on the Take Heart where I said I was gonna have Fitness Friday, and I started gaining weight, and I got frustrated because I didn't really know how to maneuver through calories and so forth, and it just wasn't working. I wasn't losing the weight, and I was so I gotta get back on my lose weight ground. Okay. She needs to do that for herself. Okay, so you go ahead and take heart, and I'm going to take heart. Okay, and we all going to take heart and keep it moving so we can be better. And we going to be committed to taking heart. Okay? All right, I love you, and God bless.